I'm standing in front of the Muskegon YMCA building, the former YMCA, I should say, which has now been turned into condos. And the question I got from one of the condo residents is how would they go about charging an EV in a ganged parking area like this, where the electrical outlets aren't necessarily tied to their meters. So there's a company called Orange Charger, and they sent me one of these test units. And the way this would work is there are electrical outlets in those parking areas, but of course they come off of the power meter from the building, as opposed to from the individual residents. So how would the residents then go about paying for the electricity they're using? Well, that's where this smart outlet comes in. This is either Wi-Fi or cell phone enabled, and so it can replace a regular double gang receptacle. If you go to the company's website at orangecharger.com and to go to products and Orange Outlet, you will find all the specifications on those outlets. That includes their intended use cases and design criteria. There are two different outlets available. One is the 120 volt NEMA 520 and the other is the 240 volt NEMA 620. Now, why a 20 amp maximum? That's because the outlets are intended to be installed on standard existing wiring for a 20 amp circuit, which means the wiring doesn't need to be upgraded. In the case of the NEMA 620 outlet, the breaker would need to be changed to a 240 volt. That does limit the 520 outlet to about 2 kilowatts and the 620 outlet to about 4 kilowatts. But for many EV drivers, this is more than enough. At $400 per outlet and very little additional installation cost, this is very compelling for the owner or manager of an apartment or condo complex. Because the owner or manager can collect electricity costs plus a markup, they can recover their monthly network fees and installation cost. Since this has the potential to be a profit center, the business case for installation is compelling. And this is our test unit. So normally the outlet would just look something like this. You would mount it into a double wall receptacle box. But for the test unit, they've wired it up into a NEMA 1450. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, plug this into my wall outlet. So this outlet, you can actually read it on there. This is a 20 amp, 250 volts, so it's a NEMA 620. So we needed the 240 volt to plug it into. And right now this unit is showing as white. And what this means is you can plug a 240 volts, 20 amp capable EVSE into that. So the way this would work is you would basically pull up to an outlet like this. You're ready to charge. And what you need to do is you need to activate with that QR code. So there's an app. In this case, I put it on an iPad. But you basically scan the outlet. And looks like it already got it. And let's see what it says. And it says charging. And right now it's still showing white. But it's showing, no energy flowing yet. So let's see. We'll plug this in. Okay, don't see anything different, so now I'm going to plug it into the car. So right now I have this plugged into, here's the J1772 plug. Because it was far away, I put a J1772 extension cord on it. So we'll grab this, plug this in. Alright, make sure everything's seated. Alright, I heard a beep from the car. And now the light is green. This thing is flashing, which means it's charging. And on the user app, I'm seeing some energy flow here. You can see the watt hours, the energy is going up, and the cost. The current session is still running, so you can see that. But you can also get your past sessions. So if you tap the little document button, you can see the last session here. So I charged for just about half an hour, and I got 1.9 kilowatt hours. That charger is about a 3.6, I guess close to a 4 kilowatt charger. So that's what this NEMA 620 is capable of. Alright, well, I'm going to shut this off because I really don't need this charge right now, so I'm gonna slide that. There it is. Okay. Last session, 10 cents, 173 watt hours. So let's see what this end looks like. I guess it's, instead of green, it's white now. Yeah, so it shut off the session. No longer charging. Just confirm on the car. Yeah, it's still plugged in, but it's not getting power, so therefore in the car you get the message unable to charge. So it shut it off, which is what it was supposed to do. So at this point, and because you're plugging into an outlet, you would then wrap up your cord and take your charge cord with you. And that's it. That's how this smart outlet works. So once you've completed a session, so this is what the screen would look like. It'll show you your last session, monthly total, and then you can also get some recent charges. Here's your summary, total energy, total cost, things like that. Shows you your last few sessions, the totals. You can also get details on one of the sessions. For the landlord or HOA or whose ever energy meter this is coming off of, there's a dashboard here, your payment records, which are paid monthly, and then you can kind of see this is the energy that was recently used. So all of the charges that I made added up to about 40 kilowatt hours, and there's the metered costs. And there are other ways of specifying the power rates, things like that, but by and large, this is what the landlord would see.